So, Simo Grönroos, in a couple of weeks there's going to be an election in Finland. Are we going to see a conservative landslide in the election, or what's happening?
Let's hope. The gallups are showing good for our party, and our party is the only opposition to the policies that the government has made in last years, and we can say the last 20 years the governments have made policies that are not good for Finland. If you look about immigration, the European Union policies, and the too strict environmental policies, so people want change, and Perussuomalaiset is the only opposition to the politics.
How is the parliament going to look after the election? You have a moderate party and you have a socialist party that's in the front runners, the Social Democratic Party and the moderate party. Will the true Finns have a place in a new party coalition, or what's going to happen after the election? What's your take on that?
If you look at the gallups, the Social Democrats, Conservatives and our party, they're almost in the same level, so everything can happen in the elections. But that is true that the negotiation for the government will not be easy, because the views of the parties, the Social Democrats, Conservatives and the True Finns, are very different if you look almost any political issue.
If you see after the Swedish election, the moderate party formed a government with the support of the Sweden Democratic Party, a party that could be kind of close ideology to the Truth Finn in certain ways, at least anti-globalist, nationalistic, conservative. Is that a source for inspiration for further governmental discussions, or is that something that will impact the Finnish interior debate?
Well, that's one of the model, but if you look at Denmark, in Denmark the Social Democrats have made more nationalistic policies. So we must have a very big electoral victory for Perussuomalaiset, and that means that either Social Democrats or either Conservatives have to change their views on those subjects that are opposed to the views that the most of people in Finland see the things. So I think the best election victory for us is the best consult for the better policies for either Conservatives or Social Democrats.
One of the key subjects I figured out was a big talking point here in Finland is the case with workforce migration. And there's a debate about you need to increase migration with workers to Finland. How come that the Truth Finns, you're firmly opposed to mass migration by the workforce, but the other party seems to be quite liberal in that sense. How come that this Finnish situation has come to this?
That's very weird situation, because every other party says that we need immigration because it's good for economy, and we know that the studies say that a majority of immigration is actually bad for economy. But I think behind that, the thing that all other parties want more immigration is that more people move to Finland, the wages go lower, and that's the good for the big business, but not good for the common man who goes to the work and have to have a good salary.
In Sweden, where the moderate government has now proposed quite hefty restrictions to workforce migration, but here the moderate party or conservative party in Finland, they doesn't seem to believe in that. They still want a liberal work migration policy and everything. How come that they haven't looked to Sweden and see the issues with the Swedish workforce migration and everything?
We try to remind them and the public also that look at Sweden. They have had the open doors immigration policy for decades, and the end is not good. But it's very weird, because so close we can see the problems of mass immigration, and still the Finnish Conservative Party and Social Democrat Party and Centre Party and all other parties want more immigration.
Wille Rydman, du kandiderar till riksdagen nu för Sannfinländarna och du har ju bakgrund i Samlingspartiet. Kan du berätta lite om din resa från Samlingspartiet till Sannfinländarna?
Under hela mitt politiska karriär så har jag alltid stått politiskt däremellan Sannfinländarna och Samlingspartiet. Men ju mera jag har varit med så desto naturligare har det blivit för mig att stå på Sannfinländarnas sida. För att i den finländska politiken så är det egentligen ett faktum att Sannfinländarna är det enda partiet som på riktigt erbjuder ett alternativ för den rödgröna politiken som ganska ofta även Samlingspartiet står bakom. Och därför tror jag att vill man på riktigt någon förändring till Finland så förutsätter det att Sannfinländarna får en så stor valseger som möjligt. Och det börjar att se ut väldigt bra för partiet.
Om man skulle se svensk kontext så skulle jag säga att den finländska debatten är ganska många år efter den svenska. Att man talar om behovet av stor arbetskraftsinvandring, man verkar ha en väldigt naiv syn på världen. Hur skulle du säga, är det här ett nytt fenomen i finsk politik eller har det här pågått en längre tid?
Alltså utvecklingen har ju varit det att samma fenomen, både positiva och negativa, som har kommit till Sverige har även anlänt till Finland. Och den politiska debatten har ju haft vissa likheter mellan båda våra länder. Men alltså de svåra problem som Sverige idag möts med, så de har anlänt till Finland och det syns även i den politiska debatten nu för tiden. Och Sannfinländarna är just det partiet i Finland som liknar mest Sverigedemokraterna i Sverige och står för samma värderingar, erbjuder samma lösningar till de samma nutida problem som uppstår i båda våra länder.
Hur stort är problemet med massmigrationen till Finland skulle du säga?
Problemet ökar. Problemet är inte i samma stora skalan som i Sverige. Alltså den har inte skapat så stora och allvarliga problem, till exempel vad gäller gängkriminaliteten som i Sverige. Men alltså problemet blir större och större varje år och därför hoppas jag att Finland bestämmer sig att undvika de svåra problem som Sverige har mött. Vi har ännu tid, men det förutsätter att man gör också rätta politiska val och det förutsätter att Sannfinländarna kommer att vinna i det här valet.
Stort tack Wille Rydman.
Tack så mycket.
And one question lastly, on the subject of criminality, how big is that of an issue in Finland right now?
It's a very, very hot topic because immigration has grown in the last years in Finland very much, and now the criminality has also grown. And the normal safety of the Finnish society is not an issue that everybody can rely on.
You have had a couple of issues with something they call Kurdish gangs terrorizing youth and being criminal and everything. Is this a new occurrence in Finland or have you always had a problem with mass migration and criminality?
The problems of the immigration have been always in Finland, but of course in the last years the number of immigration has grown so much, so the consequences of mass immigration are now seen in everywhere in the big cities.
And how come, when you see the situation in Sweden with gang warfare, criminality, shootings, explosions and everything, how come that doesn't influence the Finnish politicians to have a different take on criminality and mass migration?
The Finnish public is very critical on the immigration because they see how it affects on the safety of Finnish society. But the big parties, they just want to have open borders and don't care about the consequences. So it is very interesting to see what will happen in the elections.
Is criminality going to be one of the defining questions that is going to bring the truth Finns a good election result, or how big of an impact is it going to have on this election?
I think it has very big impact because we can see in the streets and in the schools how the immigration has made those places not so safe than they were a few years ago.
Thank you very much.